closed circulatory system where the blood is carried through blood vessels, namely the blood capillaries. Any foreign particle that enters the body is engulfed by the blood cells. So they are called as phagocytic in nature. Nephridia regulate the volume and composition of body fluids. Segmental ganglia give rise to nerve fibers to the body organs. Hello everyone, welcome back to session 6 of this chapter called Structural Organization in Animals. Myself, B. Shobharani from the Department of Biology, Vidyashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence. Hope you remember in my last session we were discussing about the morphological and anatomical feature of a very unique animal, that is earthworm, which is called as a farmer's friend. Now, moving ahead with the remaining anatomical features of earthworm. In the last session, we studied about the digestive system. So, what are we going to study in today's session about earthworm? We are going to study about the blood vascular system, or in other words, we can also call it as the circulatory system. So, as we have studied that earthworm is an annelid and it is a terrestrial animal. It is a very familiar terrestrial animal, and the scientific name of earthworm is called Perithema posthuma. Perithema posthuma. Right. So moving on to the blood vascular system. Here you can see in this beautiful picture, blood vascular system. Blood vascular system. What do you mean by vascular? Where the blood is supplied with the help of blood vessels. So here the blood vascular system is of closed type. So here you can see the blood vascular system is of closed type. As you have already studied in animal kingdom, what are the two types of circulatory system? One is called the open circulatory system. The other one is called the closed circulatory system. Like in human beings it is closed. In earthworm it is closed. What do you mean by open and closed? Closed circulatory system where the blood is carried through blood vessels, namely the blood capillaries. So blood vessels. And here, whereas in open, there are no blood vessels, absence of blood vessels, and the blood is pumped from the heart and it directly bathes the cells and the tissues. So blood vascular system in case of earthworm is the closed type. So blood vascular system consists of what? Blood vessels, capillaries and heart. So what is blood vascular system? Blood vascular system in the earthworm is closed type, that is consisting of blood vessels. Then the capillaries, the minute blood vessels are called as what? Capillaries, and the heart. So blood glands are found. Very, very important. Blood glands are present on the 4th, 5th and the 6th segment. So here you can see the 4th, 5th and the 6th segment, what we have called them as blood glands. Blood glands. So what is the very important function of these blood glands which is found on 4th, 5th and 6th segment? Blood glands produce blood cells and hemoglobin. I think all of us know hemoglobin is red in color. It is a protein and it is a carrier of oxygen. So blood glands produce what? So blood glands produce what? Blood cells and as well as hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. Blood cells and hemoglobin. So blood glands produce blood cells and hemoglobin, and hemoglobin dissolved in plasma is dissolved in plasma instead of embedded in corpuscles. So hemoglobin is dissolved in the plasma. What is plasma? The liquid part of blood is called plasma, whereas like in human being, the RBC cells carry the hemoglobin. But in case of earthworm, hemoglobin is dissolved in plasma, that is the liquid part of the blood, instead of being embedded in corpuscles, that is the red blood cells. So blood cells are phagocytic in nature. What do you mean by phagocytic in nature? Engulfing the non-self particles. Any foreign particle that enters the body is engulfed by the blood cells. So they are called as phagocytic in nature. So what is blood vascular? So here you can see the blood vascular system with lateral hearts. Here you can see the ventral vessel, anterior lobes, ventrotegumentary vessels. Here you can see the heart, dorsal intestinal vessel, commissural vessel. All these are the different types of blood vessels, and the circulatory system or the blood vascular system looks like this. So blood vascular system is of closed type, and blood vascular system consists of blood vessels, capillaries and heart. Blood glands are found on which segment? Fourth, fifth and sixth segment of the body. And blood glands produce what? Blood cells and hemoglobin. And hemoglobin is dissolved in plasma instead of embedded in corpuscles. And blood cells are phagocytic in nature. What do you mean by phagocytosis? There are certain cells which process called engulfing the foreign particle or the non-self particles. Then respiration, a very, very important unique process. As this animal is a burrowing animal, earthworm lacks specialized breathing devices and it respires through skin. Respiration takes place through the skin, or what we call it as body surface. So the process of excretion takes place through the skin. Here you can see exchange of gases means what? Exchange of gases. Here you can see oxygen and carbon dioxide takes in oxygen. So here gaseous exchange takes place through moist surface of skin. So earthworm lacks specialized breathing devices. So gaseous exchange takes place through skin, or what we call it as body surface, through skin or body surface. So transport of respiratory gases takes place in hemoglobin, just like lungs and the blood are mainly involved in the process of exchange, gaseous exchange in human beings. So transport of respiratory gases takes place in hemoglobin, right? So what is respiration? Respiration is nothing but the exchange of gases where the earthworm is lacking a specialized respiratory or breathing device or respiratory system. Instead, the gaseous exchange takes place through moist surface of the body. As you know, the body of the skin is highly dermomuscular and it is moist. And that moist surface of the skin is mainly responsible for carrying on the exchange of gases in case of earthworm, and transport of respiratory gases, as I said, takes place in hemoglobin. Then moving on to the next very important system called excretory system. Hope if you have remember the characteristic feature of phylum Annelida, then you would definitely understand what would be the excretory structures in earthworm. Obviously, it is nothing but called nephridia. Nephridia are the organs of excretion in case of earthworm. Now, let us understand how this process of excretion takes place in this wonderful animal called earthworm. So, excretory organs are segmentally arranged. So, they are segmentally arranged. What do you mean by segmentally coiled tubules called nephridia? Each segment of the body will have nephridia. So, here you can see gizzard, stomach, then clitellum. Then this is, you can call this as integumentary. Ducts of pharyngeal nephridia, tufts of pharyngeal nephridia, then septal nephridia. Here you can see the septal nephridia. So, nephridia are the organs of excretion. Nephridia are the organs of excretion. So, excretory organs are segmentally arranged coiled tubules called nephridia. And there are three types of nephridia. One is called septal nephridia, second one is called integumentary nephridia, and the third one is called pharyngeal nephridia. Pharyngeal nephridia. It is called as pharyngeal nephridia. So, excretory organs are segmentally arranged coiled tubules called nephridia. There are three types of nephridia, that is called septal nephridia, then integumentary nephridia and pharyngeal nephridia. Then septal nephridia, it is present on both sides of intersegmental septa of segment 15 to last segment, and they open into the intestine. So, septal nephridia, here you can see the septal nephridia that is present on both sides of the intersegmental septa of segment 15 to last segment. They open into the intestine. So next comes integumentary nephridia. So here integumentary nephridia attached to the lining of the body wall from third to last segment. From third to last segment, you can see it is called integument, means what? Skin, right? Integumentary and open into the body surface. So excretory system, the organs of excretion in case of earthworm is nephridia. Excretory organs are segmentally coiled, arranged coiled tubules called nephridia, and there are three types of nephridia. One is called septa. Septa means what? Partition. As we all know that the whole body of the earthworm is divided into segments, and each segment is like a partition. So it is called as septa. So septal nephridia, then integumentary nephridia and pharyngeal nephridia. So septal nephridia is present on both sides of intersegmental septa of segment 15 to last segment, and they open into the intestine. Integumentary nephridia attached to the lining of the body wall from third to last segment and open into the body surface. Now let us study about the third type of nephridia called pharyngeal nephridia. So this is the pharyngeal nephridia. Here you can see the here you can see the septal nephridia, then you can see the integumentary nephridia and the tufts of pharyngeal nephridia. So here present in three pairs in fourth, fifth and sixth segment. Here you can see present in three pairs, right? In fourth, fifth and sixth segment. Then nephridia regulate the volume and composition of body fluids. Just like in human body, nephrons do the process of regulating the volume and composition of body fluids. But in case of earthworm, which is an lower organism not having a better body organization like higher animals, nephridia are the organs of excretion. So nephridia here, nephridia regulate the volume and composition of body fluids. Then a nephridium starts with a ciliated funnel-like structure called nephrostome. Just like how we have come across the nephron having a cup-like structure called Bowman's capsule, or we also use the word called renal corpuscle. In a similar way, the nephridium starts with a ciliated funnel-like structure called nephrostome connected with a tubular part of the nephridium which throw out the waste from the pore present on the body wall. See how meticulously, though it is a lower organism not having a better body organization, with minimum parts of the body, it tries to carry on the various physiological processes, and one such process is the excretory system. So pharyngeal nephridia is present in three pairs in fourth, fifth and sixth segment, and nephridia regulate the volume and composition of body fluids, and a nephridium starts with a ciliated funnel-like structure called nephrostome connected with a tubular part of the nephridium which throw out the waste from the pore present on the body wall. Then moving on to the next very important system, that is the nervous system. So just like the digestive system, the blood vascular system, the excretory system, even nervous system is a very unique system in case of earthworm. As I keep telling that is the reason why this animal is selected for the type study, because the body functions and the systems that is found in this animal is totally something which is very unique. So moving on to the nervous system. Here you can see the beautiful picture of the nervous system. Nervous system. So nervous system it is represented by ganglia. What do you mean by ganglia? Ganglia means mass of nerve cells. Mass of nerve cells is called ganglia. So represented by ganglia, arranged segmentally on the ventral paired nerve cord. Here you can see the ventral paired nerve cord. Here too you can see this is called nerve cord. So this is called ganglia. Here you can see the cerebral ganglion, right? So represented by ganglia, arranged segmentally on the ventral paired nerve cord, and nerve cord in the anterior region, that is the third, fourth segment. You can see the third, fourth segment here. So nerve cord in the anterior region, that is the third and fourth segment, bifurcates laterally. Here you can see it bifurcates laterally, encircling the pharynx and joins the cerebral ganglia dorsally to form the nerve ring. Here you can see the nerve ring. This is called as the nerve ring. You can see the nerve ring here, right? Then segmental ganglia give rise to nerve fibers to the body. So here you can see this is called segmental ganglia. Segmental ganglia. This is called as segmental ganglia. So nervous system is represented by ganglia arranged segmentally on the ventral paired nerve cord. The nerve cord in the anterior region, that is on the third and fourth segment, bifurcates laterally encircling the pharynx and joins the cerebral ganglia dorsally to form the nerve ring. Segmental ganglia give rise to nerve fibers to the body organs. Then moving on to the sensory organs. You know, this animal is a terrestrial burrowing animal. So what would be the organs of sensory organs? Possesses light and touch sensitive organs. They are called as receptor cells. See, they possess a very unique cells called receptor cells, which are sensitive cells. Then have specialized chemoreceptors, which reacts to chemical stimuli. Even I think, as you know, it is a terrestrial animal living in the soil. So the acidic nature of the soil or the salinity of the soil may also have an effect on the body of the earthworm, where it is able to sense the the soil texture, the soil content, or the soil concentration. May it be acidic or it might be even acidic nature of the soil. So have specialized chemoreceptor which reacts to chemical stimuli. Sense organs located in the anterior part of the body. So the sense organs are located in the anterior part of the body. So nervous system is represented by ganglia arranged segmentally on the ventral paired nerve cord. Nerve cord in the anterior region, that is third and fourth segment, bifurcates laterally encircling the pharynx and joins the cerebral ganglia dorsally to form a nerve ring. So segmental ganglia give rise to nerve fibers to the body organs, and sensory organs possess what? Receptor cells. What are receptor cells? Possesses light and touch sensitive organs. Have specialized chemoreceptors. The very word itself will tell you. Chemo means what? Chemical, which reacts to chemical stimuli. Then sense organs are located in the anterior part of the body. Then moving on to the reproductive system. Very, very important system, that is the reproductive system. So what is the reproductive system all about? As we all know that the reproductive system in earthworm, as you know, earthworm is a hermaphrodite. What do you mean by hermaphrodite? It is a bisexual animal. It is a bisexual animal. What do you mean by bisexual animal? Or a hermaphrodite having both male and female reproductive organs in the same body. Now let us study about the male reproductive system and the female reproductive system of earthworm. So moving on to the reproductive system, earthworm is a hermaphrodite bisexual. Two pairs of testes is present in the 11th segment. Here you can see two pairs of testes is present in the 11th segment. Here you can see the 11th segment, and their vasa differentia. What do you mean by vasa differentia? Tubular structures, you can say vasa differentia. Here you can see the vasa differentia run up to 18th segment. So they will run up to 18th segment, from here to 18th segment, and joins with the prostatic duct. So then joins with the prostatic duct. So two pairs of accessory glands present, one pair each in the 17th and 19th segment. So here you can see the 17th and 19th segment, right? So this is the prostate gland. Then the prostate and spermatic duct, that is vasa differentia, open to the exterior by a pair of male genital pore on the ventrolateral side of the 18th segment. Here you can see the accessory glands and common prostatic and spermatic duct you can see, and you can see a pore. Here you can see the pore. Spore on the ventrolateral side of the 18th segment, and four pairs of spermatheca. Here you can see the four pairs of spermatheca are located in the 6th to 9th segment, from 6th to 9th segment, and they receive and store spermatozoa during copulation. So earthworm is a hermaphrodite. It is bisexual with two pairs of testes present in the 10th and 11th segment. 10th it is in the 10th and 11th segment. Their vasa differentia run up to 18th segment and joins with prostatic duct, and 2 pairs of accessory glands are present, 1 pair each in the 17th and 19th segment, and the prostate and spermatic duct, that is vasa differentia, open to the exterior by a pair of male genital pore on the ventrolateral side of the 18th segment, and 4 pairs of spermatheca are located in the 6th to 9th segment, and they receive and store spermatozoa during copulation. Moving across the female reproductive system, here you can see 1 pair of ovary is attached at the intersegment septum of 12th and 13th segment. Here you can see the ovary between the 12th and 13th segment. Then you can see the ovarian funnel. Here you can see the ovarian funnel continued as oviduct, joined together and open by a single female genital aperture on the 14th segment. So here you can see on the 14th segment. So mutual exchange of sperm occurs between 2 worms during mating, and mature sperms and egg cells and nutritive fluid are deposited in the cocoons produced by gland cells of clitellum. So the very important function of clitellum is to produce the cocoons. So mature sperms and egg cells and nutritive fluid are deposited in the cocoons produced by the gland cells of the clitellum. Fertilization takes place inside the cocoon. See how unique it is. So the process of fusion of the gametes takes place inside the cocoon, which is deposited inside the soil. After 3 weeks, each cocoon produces how much? 2 to 20 baby earthworms. 2 to 20 baby earthworms. So development is direct without larval stages. So if at all it was there, if at all it had a larval stage, it would have been indirect development. So it is direct development. So 1 pair of ovaries attached to the intersegment septum of 12th and 13th segment, and ovarian funnel continued as oviduct, joined together and opened by a single female genital aperture on the 14th segment, and mutual exchange here. The mutual exchange of sperm occurs between 2 worms during mating or copulation, and mature sperms and egg cells and nutritive fluid are deposited in the cocoons, which is produced by the gland cells. And the process of fertilization or fusion of the gametes takes place in the cocoons, which is deposited in the soil. And after 3 weeks, each cocoon produces how much? 2 to 20 baby earthworms. So here the process of development is direct without larval stage. So direct and without larval stage. Moving on to the last part of this particular animal called earthworm. As we all know that earthworm is called as the farmer's friend, or it is known as a friend of a farmer. Why it is called as a friend of a farmer? Because it enriches the soil fertility, and hence the name the soil, it is called as a friend of a farmer. I think all of us know now we are going back to the good old method of using organic manure or through a process called vermicomposting. So what is that vermicomposting? Is nothing but a method of producing organic manure. I think all of us know with the extensive use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, it is having an adverse effect on the soil condition as well. Also, it is harming the other useful organisms. So we are going back to the good old method of using the organic manure through vermicomposting, and that very important process is made possible by this very unique animal called earthworm. Now let us understand, as I said, why it is called a farmer's friend, because it enriches the soil fertility. As we all know, the earthworm is a burrowing animal, and it has a very unique part near the mouth called prostomium, which is going to break the soil particles, however hard it is, and loosens the soil and makes it for good aeration. And that is one reason why the soil is loosened, and more the loosened, good the aeration, good will be the crop cultivation. And not only that, the excreta of the earthworm is a good manure called worm cast. It is called as worm cast, and this is nothing but called excreta. Excreta of earthworm is called worm cast, which is a very good manure. It is like a natural manure. Then they make burrows in the soil and make it porous, and which helps in respiration and penetration of the developing plant roots. The process of increasing fertility of soil by earthworm is called vermicomposting, organic manure formed by earthworms. So I think everybody, many people have taken up this vermicomposting, even in the kitchen garden. May be why? Because it is having lot of economic importance now. The manure that is produced through vermicomposting is having lot of economic value, and there is a great demand for the vermicompost. The manure that is produced through vermicomposting is called vermicompost. Vermi means what? It is a worm, right? Organic manure formed by earthworm. They are also used as bait, as a fish feed in game fishing. So it is also, when they catch fishes, they use this earthworm as a bait. So as I said, earthworms are known as friends of farmers. They make burrows in the soil and make it porous, which helps in respiration and penetration of the developing plant roots. The process of increasing fertility of the soil by earthworm is called vermicomposting, or organic manure formed by earthworms. They are also used as what? Bait or feed in game fishing. Hope you all have understood all the aspects of such a wonderful and a very unique animal called earthworm. See how differently it is when compared to the other organisms. May it be the morphological feature or the anatomical features, the excretory system, the blood vascular system, the nervous system, as well as the reproductive system. So, and as we all know, why it is called as a farmer's friend, as it is very much involved in producing a fertile soil. What do you mean by fertile soil? Soil having more of humus, and it is very much used in producing organic manure called vermicompost. Hope you have understood all the aspects of this wonderful animal called earthworm. So I'll be back in the coming session with yet another interesting animal, and we'll be studying about that interesting animal. Till then, goodbye and thank you.